What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we're returning to UC-0079 as we continue our flashback in Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin. Last time, we saw Garma lead an uprising in what would later be called the Dawn Rebellion. Dozel recognized that this was Char's doing. This time, Char heads to Earth and meets a girl named Lalah soon. He returns to Zeon as they declare war and drop a colony on Earth. Let's not waste any time. This episode ends with a bang. I had to do it. I had to. Manaus, the Amazonas state capital in Brazil, a city of depravity and gambling. On the Amazon River that flows through the city, a man named the Gambler steals himself a young girl. Somewhere else in the Amazon, Char is working in construction as a mobile worker. They happen to be building Jaburo. Did you need the answer to how Char knew how to get into Jaburo? Yeah, me neither. His coworkers wonder where he learned to work on mobile workers so well. He tells them that he used to work for Zeonic, but they fired him because he was born on Earth. As they leave work, Char sees many of the locals protesting the construction of the military base. They head out to the casinos for the night, where his boss loses all his money. That is when the Gambler comes in with Lalah. She uses her new type powers to cheat at gambling. He wins, but during the last hand, she gets it wrong, and they lose. The next day, he finds Lalah and asks her, well, I was going to say boss, but let's be honest, he is more like her owner. Hit her for losing. She blames it on the dealer. The Gambler begins yelling at Lalah and tries to attack her again, but Char stops him. He says that he should focus on the Manaus mob currently taking his ship. The mob ends up blowing up his boat, and they all escape. The Gambler and Lalah hide out in the construction yard when a man named Aga comes in looking for the Gambler. The mob is paying him more, so he is no longer working for the Gambler. Aga uses his razor boomerang to kill the man. Char stabs the man with a shovel before he also gets a razor boomerang to the face. Local police force come in demanding they hand over the Indian girl. Char and Lalah run for the mobile worker and get in. Char was able to sense the attack before it happened and wonders if Lalah had anything to do with it. She didn't, and this suggests that Char had a new type moment. UC-0078, Granada. Dr. Minovsky has made his leave from Side 3 and is looking to defect. The EFF moneymen, mainly Anaheim, are talking about Zeonic taking their tech and their engineers. They believe that the RX-77 that they built will be superior to Zeon's MS-05. But Tim Ray doesn't believe any of this. He believes that if Zeon moved from the MS-04 to the MS-05, then they have moved past the need for Dr. Minovsky, and thus Zeon is far ahead of them. Even though he built it, he doesn't believe the RX-77 is good enough. Tim Ray says that if the rumors about Dr. Minovsky defecting are true, then they need to get their hands on him. Tim looks up at the RX-77 gun cannon and believes that he can make something on par with Dr. Minovsky. On the dark side of the moon, a Bugu is commanding a team of 3 Zakus. The MS-05, Zaku 1, the Origin version, is a product of making a cheaper mass-produced version of the Bugu. The Bugu's liquid cooling is on the outside of the mobile suit to help with overheating, but the Zaku 1 decided to place the cooling inside of the frame. Of course, this was a bad move and would later be moved on the outside when the Zaku 2 is produced. The head includes the iconic Mono Eye, and it is equipped with the 2-thruster backpack. Other weapons include a machine gun, a Heat Hawk, various prototype bazookas, the L-shaped shield, and a prototype anti-spaceship gun. All prototypes will eventually be consolidated into the standard 120mm machine gun. Char's version of the mobile suit is equipped with 2 main thrusters and 2 auxiliary vernier thrusters. Rambaral is in the Bugu, and the Black Tri-Stars are in the Zaku 1s. They are mad about a certain red mobile suit, as he hasn't had the training of the other 4. Meanwhile, Dr. Minovsky and his team leave Granada and head into the lunar wasteland. They are making a run for Von Braun City, which is 4,000 kilometers away. EFF intercepts a message about Minovsky making a run for it. Everyone wants to get their hands on Minovsky because they think that Tim Ray simply isn't good enough. Tim heads to the military outpost. Murray Smithy is a lunar moray, which is a basin that was originally formed by volcanic activity. It happens to be right in between Granada and Von Braun. Tim goes to the EFF higher-ups and demands that they send out a team to retrieve Dr. Minovsky, and he plans on joining them. Tim heads out along with the Iron Cavalry team. Ramba and the Black Tri-Stars meet up with Char in a red Zaku 1. He teases Ortega before the 4 of them make their move on Minovsky. They fire but try not to kill the Doctor. That is when the Iron Cavalry drops down out of a Pizarro-class ship. There needs to be more information on the Pizarro-class ship. Remember, in the original mobile suit, EFF didn't optimize their battleships for mobile suit purposes until UC-007. UC-0083. In origin, since mobile suits are more prominent, it only makes sense to add some kind of mobile suit cruiser. Although designed for mobile suits, I still think that a Columbus-class ship serves as a better general-purpose cargo ship. There is a triple beam cannon on the forward and the aft of the ship, and some form of shell-based turrets. The RCX-7602 gun cannon first type, Iron Cavalry Squadron Edition, is a mass-produced version of the gun cannon mobility test type and the gun cannon firepower test type, and designed by Tim Ray. Since the gun cannon first type is intended for infantry-style operation, it has more versatile armaments as well as better mobility. In addition to the long-range bombardment capabilities of the gun tank early type, it also emphasizes bombardment for medium range. It is designed so that its equipment can be changed depending on the mission and the team organization. The short range was never really thought out for this unit, so the articulating hands only have 3 fingers. It is equipped with 60mm Vulcans, a rifle, a low recoil cannon found on the gun tank early type, a Gatling gun, a missile launcher, and a shield. Also, did you know that the mobile suit, the Origin English website is still up? It actually has a lot of good info. Zeon goes in to attack the Iron Cavalry. As they have superior firepower, it doesn't matter, as the Zakus can get in close and cause damage. Those tiny articulating hands of the Iron Cavalry can't hang with the Zeon units, just as Tim predicted. Zeon destroys the Pizarro-class ship. Minovsky gets out and runs for his life in a normal suit. 1 gun cannon remains. A Zaku 1 comes in with its Heat Hawk and tears through the remaining unit. It falls and crushes Dr. Minovsky. Tim watches his senpai die in front of his eyes. While the battle is happening, we get a glimpse of a woman on Granada using a Zeon Major to get a meeting with the mayor of the city. She and Zeonic are in a bidding war for military contracts and trying to get access to Granada for mobile suit production, but the mayor tells them that this is neutral territory and they don't want war coming to the moon. She gets a call from Ramba Rao informing her the job is done. She informs the mayor that she is Caecilia, and that Zeon will never build on Granada so long as he is mayor. The next day, we see in the news that the mayor was killed in an accident, but in the OVA, we get to see that accident. Yeah, murder! At Anaheim, Tim tells the company and EFF that 4 mobile suits were able to take an entire squad of 12 gun cannons. They blame Tim on the situation. He believes that mobile suits will dictate the outcome of future wars. Everyone laughs at him and says that it is just a walking tank. Missiles and tanks don't win wars. Tim says they do when the battles are fought in space. He goes into detail about what EFF will have to learn the hard way. He says their battle tactics are flawed from the foundation. Tim shows them the design for the Gundam. In a Yashima shuttle, Tim and Amado head to Side 7. They pass by Luna 2, and Tim mentions that it was originally moved to the L3 point to help build new colonies, which ultimately never happened. Tim seems proud since he was able to help get Side 7 built. The two head into the colony, which is still under construction. As Zeon prepares for war, Degwin asks Zeon if they are sure they are ready to start a war. He tells his father not to worry, and that he will end this war in a month. Now that is hilarious. Garen got jokes. Frau Bo heads to school. Her classmates are Amado, Hayato, and Kai. She and Amado walk home together as they live near each other. Later that night, Kai and Hayato convince his classmate to steal a bulldozer. They go for a joyride and crash into a Federation building. Fedi soldiers come out and point guns at the kids. Remember, this neutral colony and the Federation isn't supposed to be here. They note that Amado is Tim's son, and they separate him from the other kids. Tim told Amado to try not to stand out. This is the opposite of what his dad wanted. The Principality finally declares war and begins taking over Granada and Von Braun. They also prep for the invasion of Side 2. Frau cries at Amado as all he does is stare at his screen as war breaks out. January, UC-0079. Garen gives a speech about their people currently taking Side 2. We cut to Side 2, where the colonies are being bombarded by Zeon. Ramba Rao notes that this is a massacre and not a war. In the OVA, we see a Lepantos on the battlefield. The Lepanto class is a missile frigate designed to escort Salamis and Magellan class ships and are specific to the Origin canon. This ship handled Minovsky particles poorly and was the last frigate to be made by EFF. It is armed with a megaparticle gun, a 6.2 missile launcher, a 16.2 bombardment missile launcher, a 2-barrel machine gun, and more various anti-air missile launchers. Dozel congratulates Raul, but the battle has left a bad taste in his mouth. Dozel points out to Island Ifish, the last remaining colony of Side 2. He tells them about the plan to gas the remaining citizens so the colony and the Earth can kiss. Ramba Rao wants nothing to do with this operation, but Dozel reminds him that they just killed 100 million of Side 2 citizens. What is a few million more? He believes this isn't something Zeon Daikun would have wanted and walks away. This manga in the OVA leads you to believe that it is because he is a Daikun loyalist, which was the reason for his past shame, just like the original anime. But in Origin, Ranba redeems the Rao name only for him to destroy it once again in the eyes of the Zabis. I mean, okay. To the people who say Ranba Rao's character in Origin is different, I always think of this moment and go, yeah, you're not wrong. Inside the colony, Island Ifish, a young man named Yuki goes with a young woman to stand guard by the shelter. Oh, his name is Yuki, which means snow in Japanese. I just realized that. That will come around in a few seconds. Before going into the shelter, the young couple talks about the life they will live after they make it out of this situation. The two kiss, and she heads into the shelter while he stands guard. Aw, I hope they make it. Meanwhile, outside of the colony, Zeon begins attaching gas. Everyone slowly passes out forever. Well, I'm sure there was like a few that survived the gas, but they certainly won't survive what comes next. Zeon takes the colony and sets its eyes for the Guiana Highlands in South America. No, wrong universe. The one where Jaburo is located. That one. January 10th, UC 0079. Zeon and the colony are met with the Tiaman fleet who try to stop it, but it is fruitless. The colony breaks up into 3 pieces and enters Earth's atmosphere. The biggest piece hits Sydney, Australia. And that will do it for this episode. If the Dawn Rebellion was the spark that started the fire, the battle for moon supremacy solidified Zeon as an equal power, at least technologically. If Island Ifish hadn't missed Jaburo, Giron's goals of finishing the war in 1 month would have possibly come true. Next time, we will see the Battle of Loom play out, and we will finally return to the present where Kai falls in love with the spy. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, if people tell you that you will never be as good as your senpai, simply wait for them to die. Peace.